By the end of this video, you're gonna have all the tools you need to improve your cardio. As always, let's understand a few things before moving forward. Our breathing is going to be the key to our cardio. Our breathing is gonna control the rate that we deliver oxygen to the body, but also the rate that we expend the fuel from our body. So knowing where we are is really important with our breathing, and that's why I use the gear breathing system. Now, this isn't a system I created. I actually found it through the Huberman Lab podcast. This system is just gonna allow us to know where our body is with our breathing. It's similar to the gears in cars. As faster we go, the higher up in gears we need to go. Same with our breathing. So let's understand first gear. It's gonna be breathing through our nose at a set rhythm or cadence. Second gear, breathing through our nose at whatever rate we need to. Third gear is gonna be a combination of breathing from our mouth and our nose. I like to breathe in through my mouth and out through my nose. And then fourth gear is similar to second gear, but out through our mouth. We also have a few different systems of cardio that we need to address all at once. And that's what we're gonna go into in this video. So subscribe to get more info on improving your BJJ. So let's get into our sport-specific cardio. This one's gonna be the easiest to practice because all we're doing is adding a little bit of something extra to our rolling rounds. When we start this protocol, we're gonna wanna do it twice a week and during 2 rounds. The goal for this is to go an interval of time where we're going as hard as we can or gear 4 breathing. How I like to do this is I'll do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and I'll do that through the whole 5-minute round. You're only gonna wanna do this for 2 of the rounds that you're doing throughout your whole rolling. So if you're doing 5 rounds total, you're gonna do 2 of the 5 rounds this way. The other 3 you can do at any pace you'd like. Any more than this has been shown to be a little bit fatiguing and could cause some injuries. As we get more adapted, we could add more time and remove the rest, or we could just do more rounds of this. This one's simple and easy to follow, and all you need to do is be at your BJJ school. Now let's work on the next cardio system, and that's gonna be our muscular endurance. We're gonna wanna focus on this once we find a weak point in our body, but also to help keep a base level of fatigue out. Let's say we're doing a rear naked choke. After a while, our arms start to fatigue, our back becomes sore, and we can't really hold the chokes anymore. Now, you have one option of just doing it over and over again until this builds up, or we can do some outside the mat work, and this is what we're talking about. We want to be precise when doing this method, and that means focusing on the larger muscle groups. So for the rear naked choke, that's our back and arms. We want to give the muscle the ability to do this for longer. So in the gym, we're going to be using a low amount of weight with a high amount of reps. Now this is going to be different than hypertrophy training. This is going to be done with a body weight movement up to failure for our first set. Then we're going to do 2 more sets at around 80% of fatigue levels. You want to perform this about 3 to 4 times a week, and you want to try and switch it up. So one day could be your back, one day could be your chest, and one day could be your legs. Finally, our steady state cardio, or most of you guys know it as our like road work. Most people watching are going to have some form of this. That's assuming you've been an athlete at any point, and doing jiu-jitsu means you're kind of an athlete. But if you haven't, all this is keeping a good steady heart rate while doing some form of long distance cardio. When we think of it in the geared breathing, I like to stay in the 2 to 3 range. Now the protocol I use here is 40 to 60 minutes per week, and yes, you can totally count your easier rounds at jiu-jitsu. Because remember, we're trying to build out a whole system for BJJ cardio. Now a split example used with Andrew Huberman was 10 minutes on the rower, 10 minutes on the bike, and 10 minutes on the treadmill. But really the idea is just keeping our breathing and heart rate stable while pushing us a little bit for a long duration of time. A few examples of the long distance cardio that you could be doing that isn't just running would be things like our rolling rounds, as I mentioned. I really enjoy swimming because it does help us control our breathing, or cycling and rowing. So let's just recap. We found our gauge to know what point of the cardio we're at, and we also have 3 variations of cardio that we can now do. Now nutrition is going to be key, but I'm going to make a different video on that.